mountain, the journey under the mountain.
Hello. What's something like you doing here?
That, Feyre, is the real question, isn't it?
Well, it's about time.
Our sister's debt is paid.
Hurry up, you lazy ass.
If you're going to pick a fight with him, do it after breakfast.
I was the one who hauled me out of bed just now to fly down here, busybody. You know we can hear you, prick.
There you are. I've been looking for you.
Who's in my house? Who is in my house?
I will stand on that battlefield again, Nesta Archerone.
What a pretty little wedding. You young child, you have much to learn about the ways of the world.
He was the one who let me out.
There were two sisters, they went playing.
And when they came unto the sea brim, did you enjoy the sight of me kneeling before you? Hard ride.
When he bashes your teeth in, Cassian, don't come crying to me.
Mating bond chafing a bit, Rhys? Feyre doesn't look too tired.
The pleasure barge.
Feyre, darling.
We have heard of you, even on the continent, Rhysand.
I'm gonna eat him alive.
You are a mystery, Rhysand.
Hello, liar. Motel, hotel, holiday inn.
It's a Highburn heist. It's a Highburn heist. It's a Highburn heist, and it goes real bad.
Mother's tits.
Claire Boudoir.
What?
Claire Boudoir.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Christine.
I'm Jamie.
And if you're confused about what you just listened to, that makes sense.
You should be.
This is a ACOTAR series bonus episode.
Woo!
Now, what you just heard, we've covered A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury already. And over time, as we had been doing those episodes in the past, I took some of the funny voices we made or the impressions we did of the characters and I mashed them up.
And it's amazing.
Now, I did that a long time ago and I had no idea what I was going to use it for, but I showed you a while ago and it just made us laugh.
Yeah, loved it.
And so this past week, because of life circumstances, we weren't able to finish Gold Part 2. We're like, okay, well, maybe I should release that. But then I'm like, that's
It's
weird.
time
That's like
for
a
the
minute and a half
impressions.
clip,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, okay, well, maybe we should just release all of our favorite clips then. So that's what we did.
Yeah, you're so smart.
So what you just heard was all of our funny voices and impressions mashed together and our songs.
Beautiful
And
voices.
yeah, so
So
today, for the duration of this episode, you're just going to listen to clips from our episodes of A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Thorns and Roses. Just,
It's kind of like a New Year's episode.
kind of, eh?
Yeah, but
we're doing
we're
it now.
going against the grain and doing it in October.
We do what we want.
Yeah, that's right. Happy New Year.
The other thing I'll add, not a lot of, like the first 3 or 4 episodes, we don't really have clips from those, from A Court of Thorns and Roses. And that is just because our sound was so garbage.
Yeah. I don't think it's that bad.
When you put it in, like when you clip it in to be
Oh, and you can
alongside
like
the other
hear it all
clips,
together.
it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. So I left those out, right? So we start probably at the worm episode, probably like under the
I mean, which
mountain.
it's a pretty good episode to start at.
Or like maybe just before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's it.
Enjoy.
Oh, and also, I guess the point too, we're going to be starting A Court of Wings and Ruins soon.
Yes. Yes, we are.
So if you're someone who's joined us for the Plated Prisoner series, but you haven't joined us for the ACOTAR series coverage, this would be something good to listen to if you're like, I don't know if I want to dive in and listen to the ACOTAR series and the Sarah J. Maas universe. This would be a good one to go, okay, maybe I'll join Christine and Jamie for the ACOTAR coverage.
Yeah. Or if you just like also enjoy that book and kind of miss it.
Yeah.
You just want to listen to us
Yeah, come join us. We're going to start it soon.
Yes.
Alongside our Goldfinch coverage. Okay.
Which, hang on for that.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Love ya.
Yeah, okay. Even some of the art that I see for these books, you see people's interpretation and they aren't wrong. It's just like, that is not attractive to me. So it's almost like these characters that come up, so like a Rhysand or a Tamlin or a Lucian,
where I feel like this,
you do your version of attractive of what those characteristics are. Like, who is the dark featured man that you would find attractive? Who is the redhead that you would find attractive? Who is the blonde that you would find attractive? And some people have outrageously muscly men who are probably taking drugs to look that way. Some people have the scrawny men's. Some people have the more feminine featured men. Some people have, there's no wrong answer.
No. I mean, and it's also, like, it's a book. It's a fantasy. It's...
Rhysand asks what Feyre's name is, and she gives some random name of some girl from her village. Her name is Claire.
Claire Bador.
Bador.
Which, again, on Feyre's part, quick thinking.
Right. Yeah.
Like, to be like, no, right away, I'm not going to tell you. Like, I would have made up a dumb name or...
What would you have said? Table napkin.
Yes.
My name's Table Napkin. That's the first thing you see.
Same.
My name's Chicken Noodle Soup.
But she's so quick, and to actually give, like, a real name, that she thought of it that quickly.
My name's Tamlin. No.
Wait, just give me a second. Let me think of something else.
And his power would have been freed, you stupid girl. And Feyre says, I'm sorry. And Alice says, tell that to Tamlin.
Okay, I would just like to say I did not read that as angry as you did.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm just mad at Alice. She's being so mean.
I'm reading it like she's like a grandmother who's kind of upset. You know? So a little bit of upset.
She said useless human heart.
You can
she
say
said
that like
stupid
like,
girl.
In a frustration. I'm more reading it as not as...
I don't care what tone you say that in. I'm going to knock you out, Alice. And then all of a sudden, something grabs her arm and says, hello, what's something like you doing here? Was that it? Wait, you try your voice.
You want me to do it really?
I want you to, how do you think he says it?
It's gonna be really... Okay, ready?
Hello. What's something like you doing here?
That was so much better. Okay, you win.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
I'm practicing that.
That's the end of the chapter. Who was that? We don't know.
But then rolls out, worm smashes.
Yeah, she kills it.
Yes, girl.
She did it. Oh, I don't know how you did it. I would have been dead in 12 seconds.
I wouldn't have even made it to the first task, so...
I would have cried and ran away, then they would have killed me. Okay. But she did it. And I love... Look, props to Amaranth. She's hilarious.
Right?
She's like, well, I guess anyone could have done that.
just like the straight face, like sarcasm, sarcasm. I just love it, yeah. Just like unentertained at this point.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
But she also seemed kind of bothered, like surprised.
She is bothered, but good for her for just... I would have been like, oh shit, but she's... No. Well, anyone could have done that.
And then Feyre, this is risky. She takes the shard of bone that she had in her hand as a weapon and she whips it at her.
Yeah, and gets mud all over her white dress.
No.
Yes.
And then...
The occupant comes in.
All of the candles go out. Darkness settles on the bed and takes a familiar form. And as wonderful it is to see you, Feyre, darling,
is he from the south?
That was very southern. Okay, Rhysand is not from the south. Wait, let me try it again. As wonderful it is to see you, Feyre, darling. Don't want to know. I did it again. Okay, you try.
Okay.
Try a Rhysand.
I'm just going to try and say it normally.
Well, you have to say it in Rhysand's voice.
I want to do it like with the... There's like those
'Cause
men on TikTok.
You're trying not to do it in a southern accent too?
Yeah. As wonderful it is to... Oh my God. To see you, Feyre, darling. I'm just going to say it normal.
Boo.
Do I want to know why you're digging through my fireplace? At least I know.
That was taking a turn for British.
Anyways, I love the casualness of it.
Do I want to know why you're digging through my fireplace?
Ooh, no.
No, that's...
No, definitely not that accent.
Okay.
At one point when this is all happening, Feyre says something about her watery bowels. My bowels turned watery.
Again?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Just needed to say that. So just keep looking out for that, and for...
Should we have like a diarrhea count at this point?
We could.
Is it
watery bowel count? To just pretty much pick something.
Just pick something, Feyre.
Get this over with.
Okay, my favorite part of this scene is when Feyre starts to rationalize, and it's absolute nonsense, but I could relate so much of making choices that are so illogical, but you just... So she says 2. 2 is a lucky number because that was like Tamlin and me, just 2 people. 1 had to be bad because 1 was like Amarantha or the Ator, solitary beings. 1 was a nasty number, and 3 was too much. It was 3 sisters crammed into a tiny cottage, hating each other until they choked on it, until it poisoned them. It's like, Feyre, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It can't be number 1 because Amarantha is 1 person. Because you and Tamlin are together, that means that 2 is a good... What are you talking about?
Right? Which I also, when she finally picks the right number, I was like, oh, look what it ended up being. Maybe that wasn't so bad.
Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't 2. Which she was so convinced that it was her. That's what her logic brought her to, and it was not correct.
I did really enjoy that part, though. I'm like, anyways.
Chapter 42, I titled Tamlin Horny at the Party. And Rhysand Vulnerable.
Yep.
Which, I love those titles.
I really enjoyed. I laughed as soon as I looked down and saw those in bold print.
Because I always give titles to the chapters, so just when I'm glancing at it, I can recall exactly like what happens to these chapters. Well, Tamlin's horny, Rhysand's vulnerable. So let's get to it. Tamlin sees Feyre and he's staring next to her and he tries to pretend like he's not looking at her.
And she can smell him, before seeing him. So I wanted to ask you, would you know Eddie's smell if he was behind you? Does he have a smell for you?
No. I feel like I should have an answer to that.
Try it out when you get home. You can just stand really creepily behind me.
Yeah, could you just stand behind me, see if I can smell you?
Yeah. I think she describes the scent, knows what it is, but that was curious to me, because she's also human, so it's not like she has fae.
Well, I'm just a bad
smell.
wife, I guess.
If you don't know what your partner smells like,
there's trouble in the waters.
Mm-hmm. You need to fix that.
That's like people giving bad TikTok relationship advice, and they,
Yeah. So you're probably gonna break up because you don't know what he smells like.
Take the test. I guess he's not the one for you.
Say goodbye.
Feyre mentions how you didn't have to bargain with me when you made this tattoo bargain. Me have to go to your court once a week for a month kind of thing. You could have just said every week for the
you could have picked. You could have
picked anything. Why did you do that? Or she says something like that, and he just says, "I know." As he's leaving, he says, "I know."
Right? Another confusing.
And you're like, "Are you good? You're bad." What?
Right? Which, I love mixed messages and a confusing man. Always what I go for.
In a book.
In a book, in real life. So.
Stop it.
It's the licking tears thing. So he's winning me over a little bit.
Now put that on your dating profile. I like hot and cold.
Yeah.
I like you to lick my tears.
Mm-hmm.
I like you to get me really strong alcohol.
Yes. And just
And
let me dance.
Make me dance for you.
I'm a dream.
I'm just getting so many weird messages after that.
Yeah. I mean, you get weird messages anyways, so we're probably not going to do that.
It'll ramp it up.
Mm-hmm. So Tamlin is not dead.
No. It hits his heart of stone and the dagger bends. That's how you know it really is a heart of stone.
And also how hard she really thrust it in there for
She
it
must
to bend.
be strong, like, considering that, like, you're a tiny human and you have not been well fed and well exercised these past 3 months or so.
Yes.
And yet you have. It's
I've
about
watched
3 months, right? Am I being?
Yeah, because it's different. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of CSI. Pretty much all the CSIs.
I'm basically a detective / doctor.
But it's very hard to stab someone.
Yeah.
Like, it's a difficult...
Olivia Benson told me that it's hard to stab someone.
I chatted with her last night about it, and we were talking how, it's hard to stab someone.
So she did it. Rhysand is grinning ear to ear.
He's like, our team won!
He's like, we did it, guys! You stuck it out! And Tamlin didn't screw it up!
Yeah.
So hilarious. He's like a soccer dad, like, yes!
My plan all came together.
You idiots! I did it all. I did this. No one's gonna give me the credit.
Yeah.
So Rhysand calls her name again, and Feyre's life flashes before her eyes. So this is actually one of my favorite parts, because I think it's such a in-depth look at Feyre's psyche. She has all these memories of her life, right? So life flashing before your eyes. Then she has this vision of her first kill, a rabbit, when she went back into the woods and she wept after, and like how this was a loss.
Yeah.
And she said like her soul had been stained, like a line had been crossed. So I was thinking like that had been a sacrifice, or her loss of innocence, her childhood, and also herself, right? Like when
she had to take that step.
Yeah, so like much of like when you're a child is like this freedom of like getting to know yourself and trying out new things. There should be like a sense of like freedom or inhibition, and she totally lost that at such a young age, where she didn't have choice anymore, where she now became like a caretaker when she shouldn't have. Right? She had to sacrifice, which basically was like a loss of self, right? Like her decision making wasn't about her anymore, which that shouldn't have been the case. So now that she has Tamlin, she's like, wait, I have this love now. I am not willing to sacrifice now. Yeah. I am coming back into my own and deciding that this is for me. And I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm not doing this, even if I have to sacrifice my life.
Yeah. That was a great little roundup.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that.
Tamlin finally kills Amarantha.
And it's a great scene.
Good for you, Tamlin. He does it epically.
Yes, exactly what Rhys wanted.
Exactly. He beast.
Beefy form.
He probably is beefy.
Yeah.
But he goes into his beast form, and Lucian throws him a sword, goes, Tam! Throws him a sword, and she puts it through his skull.
I literally wrote down Lucian with the assist.
Yeah. Tam!
Good job, Lucian.
You know I'm like biased, but I'm like, oh my god, Lucian did such a good job there.
He threw the sword.
Did you see that?
Do you see Lucian with that assist, guys?
Yeah.
So he stabs the sword into her head and then rips her throat out.
Yeah.
So I kind of went back and forth a lot with like other things, but I ended up picking the summer solstice.
Okay.
Because I felt like it was like a beautiful moment. It was really like a change with Feyre. You see her falling in love. You see her kind of finally relaxing a little bit and having fun and really like embracing this fairy world. It was just, I think, in all the chaos of everything and everything that happened after and happened before, it was just like a beautiful, simple moment where it was just like this girl falling in love and being her. So that ended up being my favorite moment.
Well, that self-sacrifice that we talked about earlier, like the summer solstice was that moment where Tamlin told her, like, just
and it was just
go.
yeah.
Like
I'm not your keeper. I'm not your.
That was a set her on the trajectory of, oh, I'm this separate being. I am not a vehicle for other people's needs. That I have my own thoughts and I have my own wants and I have my own needs and I can release other people's stuff.
Lucian tells me not to drink the wine. I'm gonna drink the wine.
Yeah.
I don't need someone watching over me. I can just dance and be free. And I still love that part where he just said, dance, Feyre. Like, and I'm just like, yes. So I just love that, like, dancing in a field moment, which is just my.
Well, isn't that what, like, all young people, and of course, like, me and you have been to many festivals together.
Yes, which that's what it reminds me of.
That is the whole point, right?
Yeah.
You go hear this music that, like, invokes something in you, and you could just, like, let your body loose and forget whatever it is that is going on in your life, and just... You
just don't care. You're just like, I'm just gonna dance and be free, and it's, just a really... Just makes me like that was just a very happy human moment for her.
Okay. Cringe moment. I know you don't have one. This was just thrown in at the last minute because
I can maybe like think of one. Yeah, I still.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I was just looking. I was just listening to the dramatized version, the adaptation on the audiobook, and this moment happened, and I was like, ooh. Like I had a visceral reaction. Tamlin gets on one knee when he has the fiddle and he plays for her and she dances, and I, like, any sort of like sexual feeling in my body retracted into like a black hole. Right. No. Just be in your own like.
Let's not talk about that awful experience we had together.
Be in your own dark thoughts. Mm-hmm. Isolate yourself.
Yeah.
That always works.
Clearly affecting you.
Yeah. Don't talk about it. Just have sex like you all are doing. Right? Just do that. Yeah. That will solve everything.
You know what? We're going to have sex. We're going to get married.
Right. We're going to have a big wedding ceremony and it's fine.
Everything's happy. We are fine.
Everybody's fine here.
I think I have at some point in the book she said something like that, where like everything's fine, and that's all I could think about. I'm fine. It's fine.
No,
fine.
It's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
So Ianthe, under the mountain, she was not there. So her family escaped and went to oh my god, I'm gonna screw this. Valahan.
Should we find out how to correctly say that?
No, we're not. We're gonna say Valahan.
Okay.
Valahan.
Valhan. Hello, Feyre darling, he purred.
Hello, Feyre darling.
Oh, that was good. I think that was better.
But I wanted to set up the scene where he just goes like, you know.
Hey guys, I'm here.
You called?
Hello.
Rang. It's me.
Yeah. Should have been expecting me, really.
I mean, it sounds like fun. It sounds like fun to be him in this situation.
Right? He has a lot of good, I feel like, those little movements with just like the lapels and just be like, oh. And he's always in my mind.
And Tamlin's probably so mad, which makes this better. He's like,
it's my wedding day.
Why are you here again?
Tamlin doesn't have the nicest voice, apparently.
Yeah, I haven't slept in 3 months.
Just guard the door.
So, look, we're doing a Canadian. What's the Canadian accent?
Canadian? No, I don't know, but how we talk. Canadian. Just
we'll figure it out.
Speak in your normal voice. That's Canadian.
Mojito, eh?
That's pretty good.
It's a mojito, eh?
Just call it that.
Or let's call it Lucy Moosey.
I like it.
Anyway,
Lucy, eh?
Oh, it's a mojito.
We're Canadian.
It's a mojito, eh? So we get to meet more for the first time.
I just want to say she just makes such an entrance.
Oh, love her.
Right?
Love
like
her.
just I feel like she's just like a breath of fresh air coming in there.
She is. I just want to be her best friend and her lover and her mother and her sister and her cousin and her baby.
Yes. Doesn't everybody? That's what we all want.
And her teacher and her boss and her bus driver.
Oh. Spicing it up with the bus driver.
Anything. Give me anything. Yeah. My cringe scene in the end. And I know we're just in the beginning stages of Mist and Fury, but she says, protect, protect, protect.
Oh, yes.
I could see the word in his eyes, feel it in every thrust he made into my body that night.
Yeah, I think that already wins.
I had been taking from him once in the most permanent of ways, but never again. Ew.
I want to gag, but it'll sound really gross.
It feels like are you even like a human being?
No, you were just, now it's just like all of a sudden she's become this almost thing that like this curse breaker person, and you're just there to be told what to do. Like a Stepford wife type of thing almost.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what that would be compared? I don't know. But just like your thoughts, nothing matters.
He's not connecting with her or like engaging with her, or getting to know her. Like think about how little time they spent together before they went under the mountain.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get to know each other, or like, you know,
continue at least,
instead of just like having sex and then you leaving for. This wasn't a significant part, but Ianthe comes to hang out with her while they're gone, right? And she says, Ianthe returned to keep me company, to protect me. I don't know. Right? Okay, is Ianthe your friend, or is she a babysitter?
Yeah.
And I wrote down the word infantilizing, right? They're treating her like a child.
Is that what infantilizing means?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she can't take care of herself, that she needs to be watched, that, you know, they're not like getting her input in terms of what she wants, and they're making decisions for her. Like they're treating her like a child.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. She used to take care of her whole family, you guys.
Yeah, she is capable.
She is an adult.
It also, like, growth requires that you give people adult decisions.
Yes.
So even if you're like, well, I'm 500 years old and you're only 19, it's like, okay, well, give her some opportunity.
Exactly.
I did write down a quote, which was weird. She describes Rhys, and she says, Rhys with his smirking and sarcasm and bedroom eyes.
That's how I want to be described.
That's a good description.
Yeah. I wish I had bedroom eyes.
He, like, is happy, but looks a little horny, but is a little bit funny.
Right?
That is how everyone wants to be.
Yes.
That is like
the look.
That is personality goals.
Yeah.
I think.
I like it. Smirking and sarcasm and bedroom eyes. Which, side note, confession, which I think I did confess to you before. So I think I was just really ahead of the game as a child, and I was obsessed with the Scream movie, and obviously I couldn't keep renting it from the movie store, so I recorded it so I could just listen to it. And I was like, I was such a weird child to do that. But now I'm like, no, it's just like an audiobook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I bet there's many people out there that used to do that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You figured out what the public wanted, what a need was.
Yeah. Then I didn't do anything with it, and I really lost out on a lot of money.
You could have been the originator of the
audiobook.
Right. Oh, you missed out.
I did.
Ugh. Come on, Feyre. We don't bite unless you ask us to.
Stole my heart right there with that line.
And Rhys says, the last I heard, Cassian, no one has ever taken you up on that offer. Now, Cassian could be perceived as a creepy creep. I did not interpret him this way.
I just was like, you're a friendly, fun guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in real life, don't say this. Because I will...
I feel like if you say it correctly and you're not a creepy person and it comes off funny, you can do it, but that's really rare.
Oh,
so don't actually try.
And if you're a man who's thinking about approaching, like, there's not a specific criteria. It's like, it's vibes.
Yes.
Right? It's like you have to get the vibe that you are not a creep.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know if you're a creep. So it is really risky.
Yeah. Like, if you're just, like, a humor type person who want to, like, lighten the mood.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's him. But you could also be a creep. So, you know, just stay safe. Don't try it.
Stay safe. So Cassian has shoulder length hair. Does he, though?
He does.
Okay, so he winks. So one thing I want to ask you is, are you okay with the wink?
I feel like we have had many conversations about this in real life over the years.
And people need to know.
I hate winking. It's creepy and weird. If Cassian did it, I would be okay with it. That's literally the only person, and he is not real, except in my mind. I hate when people do it. I just don't. It's weird. It creeps me out. We've had experience with males that do it.
Yeah.
Even when it was like not in like a picking up type of situation.
There was not a... When did that happen?
I remember seeing a friend at the gym one time, and like we were kind of both like doing separate things in the middle. And he's like, "Hey, good to see you," and like winks. And I'm just like, why did you do that? It's
Stop
weird.
it.
Yeah. And we don't have that kind of a relationship.
What does the relationship need to be?
Like, we're not close enough where you can do that where it's funny.
Oh, so it needs to be funny. I think that was my thinking.
Yeah, like it needs to be funny where we weren't close enough for you to do that. But we we don't have like a flirt, like we're just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just, I'm like, why are you doing that?
Don't do it.
And then in other situations where we've talked about where it was like someone trying to pick you up and they're winking at you.
It was someone across the bar, and our eyes met, and then he winked, and I'm like, oh. And then we made jokes about it for years.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cassian can do it.
Yeah, only one who can do it and get away with it.
But I'll say, in the previous chapters, Rhys did it to Feyre.
Oh.
Okay, now the serious part. Let's get serious. She goes into the Weaver's cottage.
Oh, really? You're going to skip that one line?
What? What's the line?
It is a classic line.
What is it?
That you will see. There's literally stickers you can buy. Did you enjoy the sight of me kneeling before you?
Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And then I wrote dead. That was my thought. That was me after reading that line. Yeah. Love it. Thank God I'm here for the important plot points.
The horny parts. Maybe we should change your name. The Horn.
Just the Horn.
Horn meaning horny. Nesta, I was drawn to Nesta, and I felt like I could relate to her, and maybe that's why, like, I felt it easier to be empathetic towards her, even though she was being, like, a cold asshole. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I can be a real, like, cold asshole.
Yeah, cold-hearted bitch.
Yeah. Like, my instinct isn't to, like...
I've always been the way more emotional one.
Yeah.
I show, like, my emotions more and feelings more, whether I wanted to or not. Kind of gotten better with age.
Well, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, right?
No, I don't think that, but...
You are empathetic, and you think a lot about other people, and you're very considerate. You like when people get along. You like friendships. You like to bring people together.
Yeah.
Like, those are very good things.
Thank you.
And not necessarily that I see that so much in these sisters, like, really blatantly, but I think just in terms of, like, roles people play. Like I said in the last episode, like, initially I had seen you as Elaine.
Yeah.
Because you were, like, the person she's sensitive, and she also is, like, the middle person where, like, she wants to stick up for Nesta, she wants to stick up for Feyre, she wants everyone to be okay, she sees all sides. And
I want everybody to understand all sides, and I just want to fix things, and I want everybody to get along. Mm-hmm. And everyone just to be good.
And for the most part, you're, like, never necessarily, like, the bad guy.
That's nice. That's great.
But it really annoys me when I'm like, Jamie, this made me so mad. And you're like, well, I can see how they got there. And I'm like, Jamie!
I know. That's something I'm working on, guys. And I've been going to therapy. But I am, yes, that's also, like, the bad part. Because then if it's on, like, the opposite side where... say it's like about you, that I am immediately like so defendant, is that a word?
Sure.
Sure, okay, of you. So I like what you're saying. Yes, it makes sense. Where it can be like a very good thing, but can also be like a bad thing.
Or I guess it's like specific to people you know, right? It's like if I'm saying something about someone else and I'm like, this thing that this person did made me so mad, but like you love that person too, it's like really hard for you to be like, yeah, that was not okay.
Yes. Yeah, because I just want peace, love, and happiness.
And
so
then
Elaine.
I saw myself in Nesta because I was like, sometimes if like someone does something that I think is like not smart or impractical, or I think they're the asshole, I can very easily just be like, no.
Yeah. Where I think,
absolutely
which like
not.
now I know you obviously, but yes, you're very just, no, this is kind of how it is, or
like more direct.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for that I could not find, that obviously you could. And but yes, like much more direct, or just like, I'm not okay with this, or where that's like not something I'm like. So we're very obviously opposite of that, but yes, you are so much more direct and could just kind of say no.
Yeah, and then if
just no.
And then if someone's
easiest.
like, oh, you're the asshole, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm actually not on this earth to like make you happy.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with that. So like in a sense that's like a really good trait, I think, where I don't need people to like me. You actually don't it doesn't matter if you like what I say, but then it can go like the other end of the spectrum where I'm like, then I could be inconsiderate or like not listen to their piece, or for like the people that are really important for me, I'm not like taking that in.
And I think also like with Nessa, it's not like a malicious intent thing. It's, I think, like being protective of yourself or herself and her space. Like,
she's very protective and very prickly.
Yeah, which isn't I also don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's normally has been like looked as like, oh, you're just a bitch and that's it. But I'm like, no, like it's just, I think that's a good that like, you know, like the boundaries or what's okay for you, what's not okay for you.
So she gives Amryn the amulet back that
this.
Amryn had given her to go to the prison, but you know, she tells Feyre to keep it, that there's no magic. And she basically just gave her it. So this is, you know what, Amryn is some like whatever creature that she is, and she's super scary, and she could kill you in a second, could kill Rhys in a second. You know, Rhys is talking about how powerful she is. But in this moment, she's like, oh, basically gave her the amulet so she would be okay to go into the prison.
And she just met her. And she was just like, you know what? This will make her feel better. I'm going to wake her up and bring her this necklace.
Yeah.
End up finding out that she dug it from the bottom of something and Rhys gave it to her like 200 years ago.
Right, it's just some old piece of jewelry.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? When Rachel in Friends was pregnant and then she took another test and Phoebe was like, oh, it says you're not pregnant. And she's like, oh, that was fine. And then she's like, just kidding, it is. And she's like, that was a tricky game. But I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know why, but that's just like what it reminds me of.
I don't know why
I was just giving you what you needed to, you know? That's when I read that, I was like, why am I thinking of this?
Isn't that a funny trick?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're pregnant.
Okay, my MVP is the restaurant lady.
Great choice. Damn it.
I don't know what food she cooked, but it sounded great in my mind.
She even made blood sound good when she's like, oh, she gave her the right spices. I was like, oh, what does that blood taste like?
Right? They didn't even describe the food other than like, oh, it was spicy and it was whatever. And my mouth was watering. Yeah. I don't even know what you made. And I want to go to your restaurant.
Yeah. Same.
Who's doing your marketing? Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah, it is.
I wrote down this random quote that you probably don't remember, but there's a reason that I wrote it down. But it says, then I was squinting into the glaring sun of a turquoise sea, just as I was trying to reorder my body around the dry, suffocating heat, even with the cooling breeze off the water. So just as someone who lives in Canada, going to a place that is very hot.
Yeah.
I related to this experience of like stepping off the plane and be like, oh, you live in this.
Yeah. All the time.
This is how you live. Okay.
It's very hot.
I see.
That is good. Yes, agreed.
The Princess of Adriata and Varian, her younger brother, the Prince of Adriata. And I just wrote down that Amren is pretty mean. So they're all trying to like play their part, right? They're like, oh, we're the mean knight court people.
Yeah.
And so Amren's a bit of an asshole. Calls the High Lord that died, that was killed by Amarantha. She calls him ugly. Like, whoa.
Yes.
Amren. Oh, and there's an awkward moment just as an observer because Feyre's trying to play it up, right? Yeah. That she's this pet. And she says, here I was thinking you had a fascination with my mouth.
Okay, but what fault? Because I had the before comment highlighted because Tarquin was looking at her.
Yeah.
And Rhys looks at him and says, her breasts are rather spectacular, aren't they? Delicious, as ripe as apples. And then Feyre
says that.
Here I was thinking you had a fascination with my mouth. I'm like, you too.
Yeah, and so...
You just meeting. Like...
But Rhys, it says he delighted surprise lit Rhys's eyes. And I was like, is this... It felt very much like foreplay to me. Reading it, I was like, you guys are getting off on this.
Yeah.
Like,
but I do like
part.
In that setting, like he probably expected her to fall back a bit.
Yeah.
And she's really like standing that Nightmare Court vibe.
Yeah.
And she kind of throughout the chapter makes comments like to make sure she's very like stoic and doing all that. Like she does a very good job of playing the role type of thing.
Yeah, and he's turned on.
Oh, yeah. This is great. A lot of back and forth is about to happen.
Tarquin's like, what is happening?
Yeah. Should I leave?
You have a tale to tell, it seems. Which to me was like, what the fuck is what are we getting into?
No. Well.
And then, I wrote down the old queen tells off Rhysand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the High Lord of the Night Court asked us to join with him, save lives with him, to fight for peace. And what are the lives you have taken during your long, hideous existence? What of the High Lord who walks with darkness in his wake and shatters minds as he sees fit? Oh, we have heard of you, even on the continent, Rhysand. We have heard what the Night Court does, what you do to your enemies. Peace? For a male that melts the minds and tortures for sport? I do not think you knew the word.
We're just going to narrate the book.
I'm available for parties. Harry Potter? Amren tells Feyre that Rhys was a ghost when he returned from under the mountain, but Feyre made him come alive again. If anyone ever said that about me. If someone told me that about my husband, you made him come alive. You brought him back to I'd be like, I did. And that would be
amazing.
I am so great. That would be my little boost.
Tell me more.
Yes. So I will be accepting those assessments if anyone had observed me in the light I bring to my husband's eyes.
She says, not like the grinding and thrusting of the Court of Nightmares. And I was like, okay, I get the grinding, but like the thrusting, what kind of dancing are they doing?
Well, Jamie, I'm wearing a Borat sling and a fur shawl. And Lady Gaga heels. You bet your ass I'm thrusting.
Right? Like,
you bet your ass I'm swinging
like,
that fur in the air, and I am humping, I am thrusting, I am grinding at anything that is moving.
Right?
And then I'm being arrested.
Yes. I was like, I totally get the grinding.
Not in the Court of Nightmares. There's no police.
No, they don't care.
There's no 911 there.
You could do whatever you want.
That's where I'll be.
I was like, what a dancing description.
With my croissant.
Croissant waving in the air.
Oh, just a mouthful of croissant.
I was like, what an interesting dance style. Do we want to do old casting, or are we going to wait? I feel like we can wait for that. You want to do it? You can just do the Cassian one?
I'm just going to do the Cassian one because I feel like I'm going to explode.
Okay.
Okay, I have to look up something specific to give it the
right
juice,
visual.
The juice. The Real World Paris. Did you watch that season? You did.
Oh, yes.
CT.
Oh my god, yes! You didn't even have to. You should have just said CT.
I knew you knew who CT was, but I wanted to
CT.
preface it with a real world Paris because I watched
the challenge. Just the challenge in general.
I know, but you need to know CT from the OG because he was in his prime.
Oh, my CT.
Yeah,
I'm still obsessed with him because I watch the challenge religiously, and I love him. When he has a dad bod, I love him. When he's in super good shape, I love him. Yeah, love his Boston accent.
He's just a very, very attractive man.
Oh, yes, yeah. Rhys really likes to throw the Feyre darling. I can't remember what he said, but said, or Feyre darling. Like, just says it like casually in a sentence, like instead of saying, or Feyre will do this. It's, Feyre darling will do this.
It's such a stupid phrase.
Right? And I love it.
If anyone else said it, I'd be like, you need to be locked up.
Like, I hate it,
You need to go to the hospital. You need to go to jail.
Yeah.
Because it is creepy. But in the context of Rhys,
every time he says it, I'm like,
it's really wonderful.
I love it. She's your little darling. I hate it. And
Stop
I love it.
Stop it.
Right? When I say it like that, doesn't, nope.
Anyway, sexy time.
Yay. They're getting cozy. Rhys goes to get her food. She changes. Then he comes up.
Oh my god. I did want to... Sorry, this is like not as sexy, but I do want to know how great it is when you have wet clothes on.
Oh my god, yes, I did put this down as well. It's just the best.
And then you take your wet clothes off and you're like freezing and you get under a warm blanket and then you have warm food.
Oh my god, I know.
Stew. Oh my god, I think of like chicken pot pie.
And I hate chicken pot pie.
Okay,
Everyone loves
whatever,
the stew part.
like a stew. Okay, I'll have chicken pot pie. You have stew, and then we have like red wine.
Yes.
Oh, and then we just have like a nice cozy blanket.
Yeah, but as
like,
soon as you get out of those like wet,
let's both not be nude in our furs.
Yeah, that would be weird.
But we'll
PJs, but you get all like cozy.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of
feeling.
I know, I love it.
And then you're like, oh my god, this like hot Illyrian men with wings. Oh my god, the bed's too small. What are we gonna do?
Oh my god, there's only one bed in this tiny inn.
Oh my god, I'm like well fed and like I've had 2 glasses of wine. What's gonna happen?
I also did say when he like came in with oops, I'm naked.
Oopsie doopsie, we're doing stuff.
When he came in with like the food and the wine, I was like, oh, it's like a cute little date night. Yeah.
I know people don't like to eat on a bed. I'll eat on a bed.
No, I'll eat on a bed like that. Especially, if it's Rhysand. And I didn't notice it the first time I read it, and then I was listening to the audiobook this week, and I was like, oh my god. So Moore's explaining like the cabin or whatever, and then she's like, Rhys used to smuggle in books and booze for me.
Does it say that?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Right? We secretly knew.
Do you think that there's people out there that thought that we got that title from the book and now they're like, wow, you guys are dummy dum-dums. How did you not?
No, because it's such a small little part, and like this chapter, even like what we have for it, like it's not, and it's in between such big things. I don't really think many people, maybe some people, I don't know.
Wow.
But how exciting is that?
Honorable mention to Moore for her reaction to the cabin, because good on you, girl. You are a kind-hearted soul.
Yeah.
To not walk into your family's cabin and lose your shit on Feyre.
I don't feel like I would. I'd be like, oh.
I would. I mean, I wouldn't like scream and yell and like, get the fuck. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, what? If it were you, I'd be like, what the fuck do you think you're doing to my walls?
I 100% wouldn't do it to your cabin. Jared.
Because you would know that you would get my wrath.
Yeah. And Jared would be like, Jared, just let me explain.
Just wait.
Yeah. I'm going through a lot right now.
And then you go, oh, Jamie.
The cabin will fix it. This is Jamie, now known as Cassian.
Oh, I thought you were introducing yourself again. I was like, I think I know. Yeah.
Well, it's about time. No, that was so bad. Okay.
No, I liked it.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's about time. That was supposed to be Rhys snarl?
No. What is it? How do you snarl? Oh, you're better at this.
I've been practicing.
Okay.
Ha 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 ha. Cassian laughs.
Then all the Illyrian warriors start shooting into the sky, hauling women and children with them.
Hard ride.
When he bashes your teeth in, Cassian, don't come crying to me.
Mating bond chafing a bit, Rhys? Feyre doesn't look too tired. Maybe she could give me a ride.
Ah! And Rhys attacks.
Yeah. So what I do love is, Cassian's just being a friend.
He is, and Feyre realizes that after this interaction, Cass is not trying to be a pest. He sees that Rhys is all riled up and
with the mating bond, and that's why everyone took off into the sky because they're like, "Oh shit, we need to get out of here.
Away from him! Take the women and children!
Don't look at the girl."
That part was actually so funny. The women and children, save them!
All of a sudden, Cassian, this armor comes out that slowly just covers his body. This black armor. She's pretty much like, I blinked. He's completely covered with all his other siphons. Cassian is a superhero, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of like Iron Man-ish.
Right? And I am a huge Marvel fan. And I was like, I can't believe I didn't catch this the first time. He's a superhero. Mm-hmm. And I just... Hot
superhero.
Yeah, so just really, loved that part. Oh, yeah, I did right. Cass armor coming out. So hot.
So hot right now. Want to touch his hiney.
Yes, exactly. It's very upsetting. Screw you.
But then, that's devastating. But then, and the King of Hybern says, now that I've upheld my end of the bargain, I expect you to uphold yours. And Tamlin and Lucian walk in. And you're like, no, Lucian!
Get it to get... Oh, I was... Totally forgot about this. And Tamlin. Like, come on, Tamlin.
Tamlin, you can do better.
Like, you are better. Like, you suck, but you're better than this.
Yes.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Dumb.
See, this completely forgot that this part happens.
Dumb.
You're delusional. And I do like how she also points out that she like is looking over what he's wearing and how she's like, oh, he has this like blades thing. And
you best believe I clock that.
Okay. And then
he's got Illyrian blades.
Yeah. How dare you?
Okay. The note that I wrote down was "Skews." The audacity.
Right?
Skews.
How dare you?
Skews.
Still.
You took those gifted blades that Rhys, when he befriended you, taught you how to use, and you kept them.
After you helped his family be murdered.
You are using his things and benefiting from them, and yet you describe him as like the devil.
Yeah.
But then why do you have his blades?
Yeah. Just
Get
the
rid
worst.
of the blades.
Like, I'm actually like, Tamlin, are you okay? Like, I know he's not okay. Like, I don't even know why I'm asking that, but still just...
So she uses the Day High Lord's power of light, but also the spell curse-breaking stuff, where she gets through the wards, but the King of Hybern obviously doesn't realize. But she uses this light power to make it seem like this big thing happened. And so she puts on her acting hat.
She does some top-notch acting there.
She does. And, my favorite line is when she's, like, coming out of it, and she's like, Tamlin? Tamlin?
Oh, my God. What just happened?
Yeah, and I wrote down it was appropriate to cry here, right? Because I was on my couch by myself crying at this because Amryn just kept repeating, "Where is she?"
Yeah, I know.
Where is she?
And I was listening to the audio thing today.
Yeah.
Of it. I was like, oh my God. And even in my notes, I'm just like, Amryn.
And Rhysand's just like explaining, and she's like, "Where is she?"
Yeah, just answer my damn question.
I don't know why my initial read of this series, this is repetitive, I know, but I didn't notice Amryn much.
No, like she just didn't stand out to me as much, and now she's like one of my favorite people.
She gives a shit,
yeah.
right? She's like, get her back. What
are you talking about? Yes.
Shut up, Rhysand. Okay, but before we get to Lucian, I know there's another one. There's another inner dialogue that's so funny to me. Okay, do you want to read the Feyre and then I'll read her inner thoughts?
Okay. I want to be a part of this time. No more shutting me out. No more guards. Please, I have so much to tell you about them. Bits and pieces. But I can help. We can get my sisters back. Let me help.
Help lead you in the wrong direction. Help bring you in your court to your knees and take down Jurian and those conniving, traitorous queens, and then tear Ianthe into tiny pieces and bury them in a pit no one can find.
Oh, it's so good. It's so, yeah.
Whoa, Feyre. But yes, Feyre.
Yes, you do that.
If you're still here, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You have just listened to our ACOTAR and ACOMAF clips. But come join us for A Court of Wings and Ruin. We're excited for it.
Yeah. And we're kind of funny sometimes, so.
You know what? All that matters is that we laugh at our own jokes. That's all right. That matters.
Yeah. Please come join us.
Okay. Toodaloo.
And?
No.
I was going to say, any suggestions, any reviews, please share.
What do you mean? No notes. No notes. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Just kidding. I take it back. We are perfect. Everything was perfect.
I'm fine.
Yep. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Please just tell us how fine we are.
Yeah. I miss Lucian and Cassian. Okay, that's it. That's it. Bye.
Bye.